we have members of the public, so they're able to get in. At least some have been able to get in.
Right. We have members of the public, and we are just missing one commissioner.
Okay. Terrific. Everybody, welcome to the first edition of the Santa Barbara Airport Commission monthly meeting, January 19th, 2022, after some technical difficulties. And before we get into the agenda, I would like to remind everybody that, Mo, when did we switch to Zoom? Is this the first Zoom meeting?
This is the first Airport Commission Zoom meeting, yes.
So I would ask everybody who's participating, commissioners, staff, and public alike, to be patient. Mo had this down to a science, and just about the time she had it perfectly dialed in, we changed to Zoom. And so might be a little bit of technical difficulties, which we just experienced getting some commissioners on board. So please be patient with Mo and this process. And the second is there are various times when we open comments or allow comments from the public at various times. And just to ask everybody to respect the 3 minutes so that speakers that come after you are able to get their time, because we get 3 minutes plus for a total of 15 minutes, although we're a little liberal on that, but please do the best you can. And there's a little timer. Mo, does the timer work in Zoom the way it used to work? Yeah.
Yes.
The little timer that'll come up on the screen, and if you just please try to limit your comments to that 3 minutes or less, it'd be appreciated. And with that, I will call the first Airport Commission meeting of 2022 to order. And item number one, I think we have a ceremonial item to welcome 2 new Airport Commission members to what is normally an utterly boring commission. And I say that tongue in cheek. We have lots of things to work on this year, and I'm sure it'll be fun. And Mo, I'll turn it over to you to swear in our 2 new airport commissioners.
Great. We will now do the affirmation of allegiance by Commissioners Dan Gleason and Levi Maya. Good evening, incoming airport commissioners. My name is Mo Graham, and I am the Airport Commission Secretary. And in this capacity, with the delegated authority of the City Clerk of Santa Barbara, it is my honor and privilege to deliver the oath of allegiance to you this evening. If each of you would please unmute yourselves and raise your right hand. So Levi, and do we have, where's Dan? Great. I will read the oath, and at the end, if you agree, say, I agree. I, and if you would state your name.
I, Levi Maya,
do solemnly swear and affirm that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California, that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter as a member of the Airport Commission of the City of Santa Barbara, California, according to the best of my ability. Do you agree?
I do.
Levi?
I do.
Great. Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you.
Mo, you disappeared on us. We have one more commissioner, incoming commissioner, for you to do that again with, correct?
Dan and Levi both just did it.
Oh, they did? Oh,
yes.
Okay. I missed, somehow I missed that. Sorry for the silence. And For the incoming commissioners, I'd like to correct, while Mo says she's the secretary, she's actually the one that runs the airport, and the sooner we all know that, the better. And I just say that again, tongue in cheek. Mo has been a great fixture here and is the one that gets us through these online meetings, which are not a piece of cake. So Mo, thanks for that. And Levi and Dan, welcome aboard. So glad that you are serving the community in this capacity, and we look forward to your contributions. And with that, Mo, I'd like to get a roll call.
Great. Commissioner Goodman.
Here.
Commissioner Reed.
Here.
Commissioner Glazier.
Here.
Commissioner Houghton.
Here.
Commissioner Maya.
Here.
Vice Chair Bowen.
Here.
Chair Arcuri.
And I am here.
And we have a quorum.
Woohoo. Okay, thank you, Mo. Next item on the agenda notices that on Friday, January 14th, 2022 at 5 p.m., the Airport Commission Secretary, Mo, duly posted this agenda on the bulletin board at the Airport Administration Building. Item number 3, public comment. We have a pretty light agenda this evening, but any member of the public may address the Airport Commission on any subject within the jurisdiction of the Airport Commission that is not scheduled before us today, on this same day. The total amount of time for public comment is 15 minutes, and no individual speaker may speak for more than 3 minutes. And so again, this is on items that are within our purview of the airport, but not on the agenda tonight, because on the agenda tonight, public will also have the opportunity to comment on particular items on all the items on the agenda. So Mo, do we have any public speakers for items that are not on the agenda tonight?
Okay, members of the public, if you wish to make a comment, please use the raised hand icon on your screen to tell me that you would like to speak. Chair Arcuri, we have one raised hand so far.
Alrighty, well, let's start with one raised hand, and we'll see if anybody else has anything.
Great. Jennifer Berger, would you please unmute yourself and begin speaking?
Hi, Craig. My name is Jennifer Berger. Nice to meet you guys. Hello to everyone. I don't know if you can see me or not, but you can. Oh, good. I'm just calling to just get a check-in. We're the ones applying for the 6100 Hollister. I don't know if you remember, I remember the meeting. It was like when you talked about Dean's Beans. We wanted to put the little private gym next door to Dean's Beans, and we've just been waiting for about 10 months to have that kind of wrapped up. And we know that you guys have had just like a tumultuous, crazy year, but we're really excited and we really want to take over the space. And my husband would be here, but he's on a flight back. He had a business trip. And so I'm kind of just jumping in on his behalf. So we just wanted to let you know our interest is genuine. We're there. We had former attorney Scott Vincent write a letter of recommendation on our behalf. A local nurse, and we know that you guys have been dealing with parking, and we just want to say this whole thing is designed to be, I mean, hence the name boutique. It's supposed to be teeny tiny. we just want to work out and not have it be in, have it be a small space for us and people who have the same style of workout as us. So that's it.
Okay, Jennifer, thank you very much. Mo, do we have any other public speakers?
We do not have any more raised hands.
Alrighty, and oh, you disappeared on me. There you are. And if anybody sees me shivering or have my hoodie on, my heat's been off for 3 days up here on APS. This morning it was a toasty 56 degrees. So if my teeth chatter, that's why. So we'll move on to the item number 4, liaison reports. And I didn't I didn't look quickly enough to see if we have Santa Barbara Liaison Council Member Eric Friedman with us tonight, do we?
Chair Curry, I have not seen him log in.
Okay, and do we have the City of Goleta Liaison Council Member, Mr. Kyle Richards with us?
Yes, we do.
Oh, well, we'd love to hear any report you would care to give.
Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. Happy New Year. I hope it's off to a good start. I want to say welcome to the new commissioners. I'm Kyle Richards. I'm the City of Goleta's City Council Liaison to the Airport Commission. Nice to be with you here tonight. I have two things I want to mention. First of all, I want to acknowledge and thank the City of Santa Barbara. Too bad Eric isn't here, but I'll make sure that he gets the message. I just want to acknowledge that the City of Santa Barbara has finalized their construction of the sidewalk that you may have noticed. It's on airport property along Hollister Avenue between Frederick Lopez Drive and Old Town, and which is basically Fairview Avenue. So you may have noticed that this piece was formerly mostly dirt path. It's a well-traveled piece of sidewalk area. It's on the north and south side that the City of Santa Barbara paved. So just want to thank and just say that I'm very grateful on behalf of the city. I think this is a great move. I think it's great at connecting the commercial enterprises that exist on airport property along Hollister Avenue with the rest of Old Town to the east. So we are hoping that at some point the block on the 6200 block of Hollister Avenue will also be paved. But we also really appreciate the undulating sidewalk along the 6100 block, along the block that was previously mentioned by Boutique. And that's also the block that has Dean Coffee Shop. So again, thank you. Secondly, I want to just mention and announce that the City of Goleta is turning 20. February 1st, 2002 was the official incorporation date of the City of Goleta. And we have a celebration coming up on January or February 5th. It's a Saturday to acknowledge this and to celebrate, and you're all welcome. It's from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Stowe House over by Lake Los Carneros. So please join us in celebrating Goleta cityhood. That's all I have. Thank you.
Well, Councilmember Richards, thank you very much, and happy birthday, City of Goleta, coming up. And where did you say that celebration was going to be from 11 to 4? Where?
Stowe House, out by Lake Los Carneros.
Ah, okay. Terrific. Thank you. Well, happy birthday to the City of Goleta. So I guess that means that the City of Goleta is about to be 21 in a year, so I guess the City of Goleta can now drink. Prohibition still in place?
Well, we do own property. We could do that at 18, and we bought our city hall. So, you know, who knows what's going to happen when we turn 21. So thank you.
Terrific. Thank you. And Mo, just a quick question. Is my internet connection working okay from your perspective?
There's been a couple of times you've cut out just tiny bit, but mostly we can hear you fine.
Okay. All right, so we'll move on to number 5 on the agenda, which is commission matters. And now is the time of the year when the commission elects a chair and a vice chair, and we make subcommittee assignments. And there are various subcommittees. I won't through them in detail when we get to that point. But so we'll start with nominations for chair. And I think what might be easiest, Mo, is if you would just go down the list of commissioners and ask if they have a nomination. that probably would be, oh, actually, maybe we'll straw poll first, because if there's only one person who is kind of in the running, then we don't need to really do a straw poll. So maybe just go down the list of the airport commissioners, Mo, and ask if they have any nominations.
Okay. Okay. Carol Goodman, do you have any nominations?
I was hoping that Craig could be the chair again.
Okay.
Note Craig.
And then Commissioner Reed, do you have any nominations for chair or vice chair?
For chair, I'd like to nominate Paul Bowman. Pardon me.
Commissioner Glazier, do you have any nominations?
One of the two has already been nominated.
Okay. Commissioner Houghton, do you have any
So
nominations?
let's do chair first, and then we'll do vice chair next.
Okay. Commissioner Houghton, do you have any additional nominations for chair?
A candidate's been spoken for.
Okay. Commissioner Maya, do you have an additional nomination?
No, I don't, Mo.
Vice Chair Bowen, do you have any nominations?
No additional nominations.
Okay. Chair Curry?
I'm sorry, did you call me, Mo?
Yes, we have nominations for Craig R. Curry and for Paul Bowen for chair.
I have no additional nominations.
Okay.
Is that everybody, Mo?
Yes.
Okay, so it looks like we have two, one being myself and one being Paul Bowen. So maybe we'll take a straw poll now before asking for a motion, and just see if we have a majority of folks for the candidate or the other. So could you again go down the roll and ask each commission member for whom they would support?
Okay. Commissioner Goodman, do you have any nominations for vice chair?
Oh,
No, Mo, we're doing,
Oh, I'm
Mo,
sorry.
pardon me. We're doing a straw poll on the chair. Since we have two potential nominees, we're going straw poll with the commissioners just to see if one of the two has a majority of support.
Okay,
So we're sticking with the chair.
my apologies. Commissioner Goodman, do you have a vote for either Craig or Paul?
Craig.
Okay. Commissioner Reed?
For Paul.
Commissioner Glazier?
For Craig.
Commissioner Houghton?
Mr. Curry.
Commissioner Maya?
Bowen.
Commissioner Bowen? You're muted.
Yes, sorry about that.
Okay,
Paul Bowen for Paul Bowen.
okay. And Chair R. Curry? Straw poll for you, Chair R. Curry.
Mo?
There, I can hear you now.
Yeah, I just switched over to another internet connection. I didn't hear much of that, but I think you landed on me last. And so I had a discussion with myself while I was offline, and I decided to support me.
Okay.
So I don't really know what the tally there though is. Do we have a clear majority for one or the other?
We have four votes for Craig R. Curry and 3 votes for Paul Bowen.
Okay. Well, unless anybody wants to change their mind, then I think that we would proceed with a nomination in a second. And then we'll do a roll call vote because this actually is is Tava with us, by the way, Tava Ostringer?
Yes, she is.
Tava, just to chime in, we're going to do this as a motion now. Do you have any argument with that?
Chair Curry, that's the correct way to proceed.
I'm always happy when the principal says I did it the right way. So would somebody like to make a motion for nomination of chair?
I will.
Okay. And you are nominating who?
I am nominating Craig R. Curry for the position of chair.
Okay. And do we have a second?
I second.
Okay. So Mo, if you could do a roll call vote with ayes or nays.
Okay. Commissioner Goodman,
Yay.
Commissioner Reed.
Nay.
I'm sorry.
Oh, was I mute?
Yes.
No.
Commissioner Glazier,
Yay.
Commissioner Houghton,
Yes.
Commissioner Maya,
No.
Commissioner Bowen,
No.
and Chair Curry.
Yes.
The motion was 4 yeses with 3 noes, so the motion passes.
Alrighty. Okay, well, it'll be my great pleasure to reprise this role. We'll move on to vice chair. And I would like to nominate Commissioner Houghton as vice chair. And Mo, if you'd like to go down the list of other commissioners and ask for any other nominations.
Okay. Commissioner Goodman, do you have any other nominations for vice chair?
I do not.
Commissioner Reed?
I do not.
Commissioner Glazier?
Would nominate Commissioner Paul Bowen.
Commissioner Houghton, do you have any nominations other than yourself and Paul Bowen?
I do not. I guess I'm in for this.
Okay. Commissioner Maya?
No.
Commissioner Bowen?
I'd like to nominate Cassandra Reed.
And Chair Curry?
No additional nominations. So it looks like we have three candidates. Is that correct? No, that's Commissioner Reed, Commissioner Houghton, and Commissioner Bowen, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so it's a bit of a runoff. So if you would kind of go down the list of commissioners and ask them for whom they would support. Let's see if we can get a majority and see where that leaves us.
Okay. Commissioner Goodman, would you cast a vote for Commissioner Houghton, Commissioner Bowen, or Commissioner Reed for vice chair?
Dennis Houghton, please.
And Commissioner Reed?
For myself.
Commissioner Glazier? You were muted, Commissioner Glazier. I didn't hear you.
Apologize. Commissioner Paul Bowen.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Houghton?
For myself.
Commissioner Maya?
Commissioner Houghton.
Commissioner Bowen?
Cassandra.
And Chair Curry.
Commissioner Houghton.
Chair Curry, we have 4 votes for Commissioner Houghton for vice chair, 1 vote for Paul Bowen as vice chair, and 2 votes for Commissioner Reed for vice chair.
Alrighty, so it sounds like we have a majority of vice chair for Commissioner Houghton, is that correct?
Yes.
All right, so I think we can proceed then to a motion. I'll make a motion that we appoint Commissioner Houghton as a vice chair this year. Would anybody like to second?
I'll second that.
Is that you, Commissioner Glazier? Yes? Okay.
And then a roll call vote, please.
Okay. The motion is to appoint Commissioner Houghton as vice chair. Commissioner Goodman?
Yes.
Commissioner Reed?
Yes.
Commissioner Glazier?
Yes.
Commissioner Houghton?
Yes.
Commissioner Maya?
Yes.
Commissioner Bowen?
No.
No. And Chair Curry?
Yes.
Chair Curry, there are 6 votes for Vice Chair Houghton and 1 no vote.
Okay, well, with that out of the way, we will, the motion obviously carries, and Commissioner Houghton, welcome as vice chair. Now we'll move on to the subcommittees. And there was part of the agenda packet included a list of the subcommittees and a general description of what they each do. I'm not going to read the general description because it's available in the packet, and by and large, the committee names are self-explanatory. I should note that they're all important, and for the new commission members, a good deal of work often happens in those subcommittee meetings, and then the subcommittees will then recommend to the full commission whatever the recommendations would be. So I'd encourage you to participate. We like to have 3 members and then 1 alternate. And one thing, if you, any of the commissioners or new commissioners haven't yet read the Brown Act, I'm not, sorry, not the Brown Act, Robert's Rules of Order and the Brown Act. I am one of those boring people who has actually read the Robert's Rules of Order. And it wasn't fun the second time. We can't have more than 3 commission members speaking at a subcommittee, because if there were 4, then that would be a majority. So the alternate, we'd like to have an alternate. So we want to choose 3 and an alternate, which would be the 4th. But if you're the alternate and you come, you are not allowed to speak or participate. You're just there in case one of the other 3 doesn't show up at the last minute. So it's still an important role, but more times than not, you sit there twiddling your thumbs and listening intently, of course. So since we have departing commission members, we then have openings. And so I'll just start alphabetically. On the Air Service Subcommittee, we currently have Dennis Houghton as chair, Commissioner Houghton as chair. Paul Bowen is a member, and we have a blank spot for the 3rd person. And then I am currently the alternate. Air Service is an important one. You know, the airport staff and director do a wonderful job talking to airlines and attracting them and convincing them that Santa Barbara is the place they want to be. So lots of cool stuff going on there. Do I have any commissioners other than Dennis and Paul who would like to fill that 3rd spot for Air Service?
Chair Arcuri, I'll volunteer.
Chair Curry, I see that Dan Glazier has his hand raised. I am assuming you're volunteering for it.
And what do we have there, Mo? Do we have 2 folks? Or?
We have Commissioner Glazier and Commissioner Maya have both volunteered.
Okay. Well, it's not so much that the chair gets to choose. In looking at the application, when our two new commission members joined, the next one we're going to talk about is budget, which you know, a good finance background is helpful. So Levi, if and Dan, if you're both amenable, how about if we have Levi on air service? And Levi, any issue with that? Dan, any issue with that?
Nope, that works for me.
Okay. And that moves. So now we have Dennis Houghton, Mo, Paul, Commissioner Houghton, Commissioner Bowen, and Levi. How do you pronounce your last name?
Maya.
Maya, and Commissioner Maya for air service, and I will remain an alternate. Got it, Mo?
Yes, thank you.
Alrighty. So we'll move on to budget. Who was the chair of that, Mo? Was it Commissioner Hopkins?
It was Commissioner Wilson.
Ah, okay. So budget, that's a, they're all important. They truly are all important, and they're not necessarily all important at the same time during the calendar year. But the budget is one where if you love looking at numbers and spreadsheets and are familiar with essentially looking at P&Ls and balance sheets and feel that your review of those things and your ability to bring something to the table and ask reasonably on-point questions regarding the budget, that's a great one to serve on, and it's a very important one. They're all important, but it's the budget in an airport that needs to support itself is not trivial, especially during these times. So do I have any commission members who would like to fill that role? And there's really the chair, in case anybody is nervous about that, the chair role is much like we're happening here. We have an agenda, we follow the agenda. It's pretty straightforward. So I wouldn't be scared by that. But do we have any commission members who would like to be on the budget committee and serve as the chair? And alternatively, if you'd like to serve, but don't want to be the chair, then we'll certainly ask one of the two existing members, which is myself and Commissioner Bowen, if they'd like to step up as chair.
I'd be happy to serve, but I don't know if I want to chair.
Was that Dan?
Move up the chair and have Dan join us on the committee.
And what was that, Paul?
I said I'd be happy to move up the chair and have Dan on the committee.
I think that is a spectacular outcome. Okay, so Mo, we're going to move Commissioner Bowen up to chair of the budget subcommittee. And the members additionally will be myself and Dan, Commissioner Glazier. And then we're in need of an alternate for that subcommittee. Do I have any remaining commission members who would volunteer to be an alternate? And Mo basically knows who's going to attend before the subcommittee meeting. And so you would generally be alerted, at least that's what we've done in the past. If all three commission members are there, the alternate is certainly welcome to attend. As a matter of fact, it's a public meeting. The public is welcome to attend. Other commission members are welcome to attend. But if there are three commission members present, then the alternate needs to sit there on their hands and keep ears open and mouth closed.
I'll be an alternate.
Was that Commissioner Reed?
Correct.
Awesome. Okay. So Mo, we have Commissioner Bowen as chair, Commissioner Arcuri, myself, and Commissioner Glazier as members, and Commissioner Reed as an alternate.
Thank you, Chair Curry.
Okay, General Aviation Subcommittee. We have one opening on that. Currently, I am the chair. There is a blank for a second member, and then Commissioner Bowen is also a member, and Commissioner Houghton is a alternate. So I'm wondering, Commissioner Bowen, if you would like to move up to chair of that subcommittee.
I'd be happy to do that if it helps out.
Well, I know that's a topic that you're interested in, and I think that would be appropriate. So would you be willing to do that?
Yeah, I'd enjoy it a lot. I love aviation.
Okay, so Mo will make move Paul up to chair of that subcommittee. I would care to remain on it. And so we need, and Dennis, are you willing to continue to serve as an alternate, or would you like to move up to an active member of that subcommittee?
No, I'm fine to stay as an alternate.
Okay, so do we have another commission member who would be willing to step into the open slot as a subcommittee for general aviation?
I would.
Happy to. As looks like Levi would be too. But yeah, we're both GA pilots, so yeah, I think one of us would be great on that subcommittee.
I feel like we should do rock, paper, scissors. Which is really tough in Zoom. Why don't we, my suggestion would be, I guess I would like to see Commissioner Reed serve on that as Commissioner, is it Mira? I'm sorry, Levi. How do you pronounce your last name again?
Maya.
Maya. Commissioner Maya is on air service. So I'd love to see Commissioner Reed as an active general aviation pilot join that subcommittee.
I'd be happy to. Maya, are you all right with that?
Yes.
Okay.
There can, if there's a MMA fight afterwards, you'll have to just take that offline off the Zoom. Okay, so Mo, just so we have our P's and Q's and I's and T's dotted and crossed, Paul Bowen is now chair of the General Aviation Subcommittee. The members are myself and Commissioner Reed, and Dennis Houghton remains an alternate.
Thank you, Chair Curry.
Mo, am I going too slow here? Do you think everybody's fallen asleep, or I'm trying to get through it with the least amount of pain? Ground transportation, okay, they're all important. They are really all important. Ground transportation generally doesn't deal with a lot of controversial issues. We have X amount of parking and we put people in the parking. And I don't even know, did that subcommittee meet last year at all, Mo? Yeah, I mean, we have two big parking lots. Now there is going to be some changes with the Atlantic move. So there will be some activity there, but I'm not trying to downplay that subcommittee. I would say it's a sign of a softball one, in that it's not a bad place for a new commission member to be, because it doesn't have some of the energy around it that some of the other subcommittees have. But anyway, we're missing a chair for that. And the current members are Commissioner Houghton, Commissioner Goodman, and I am an alternate. Do we have any, Dennis, how would you feel about, or Carol, either being promoted to chair of that very inactive subcommittee?
That sounds perfect. I would be happy to chair that.
And my apologies to previous subcommittee members. I don't mean any slight in the activity of that committee. So we'll have Carol Goodman promoted to chair of the Ground Transportation Subcommittee. Dennis remaining, hopefully. I'll stay as an alternate, and then we need another commission member to serve on that committee. I know you're all thinking hard about that. How about this? I will volunteer for this task. I will move up from alternate, and I'll even promote myself to chair of this subcommittee. That only leaves at an alternate position. So do I have any commission members who would like to be an alternate of a committee that has not met at all last year? I'm hoping that encourages somebody to step forward as an alternate.
I'll take on that responsibility.
Commissioner Maya, thank you very much for stepping up. That's appreciated. So Mo, we have me as the chair of the Ground Transportation Subcommittee. I know someone's going to be mad at me for making it sound like nothing happens there. When it happens, it's definitely interesting. So I'll be the chair. Commissioner Houghton and Commissioner Goodman will be on the subcommittee, and Commissioner Maya is the alternate. Got it?
Thank you, Chair Curry. I got it.
Alrighty, we're almost done, everybody. I know this gets sleepy here. Lease sub review, the lease review subcommittee. That one, there's a lot going on there. Often we do consent calendar leases, which are run-of-the-mill, not out of the ordinary of the normal course of business of the airport. I don't actually need to know if we even think about those in the subcommittee, but lease review would be looking at certainly more complex leases and longer term leases, and there may be some fairly interesting activity there over the next year with things moving around and the airport development. So currently we have a vacancy in the chair. Myself and Commissioner Bowen are on that subcommittee, and we don't have an alternate. So we need 2 commission members to volunteer or to be interested in that. So before we decide on chair, do I have any commission members other than myself and Commissioner Bowen who would like to serve in that capacity?
I would.
And
Would
that
as well.
was Commissioner Glazier?
Maya.
Commissioner Maya, okay.
Commissioner
And Glazer.
Glazier has his hand raised as well.
Okay, awesome. So I know Commissioner Glazier is a longtime Santa Barbara resident and is knowledgeable about the airport and his visit Santa Barbara activities. So Commissioner Glazier, unless you have a strenuous objection, and Mo, just keep him muted so he can't object. I'd love it if you might consider serving as chair of the lease review committee.
Sure.
Thank you. Okay, so we'll make Commissioner Glazier the chair. And then I think it was a Commissioner Levi who also made a noise.
Yes.
Okay, and so I'd love it if you would serve as the alternate on that.
Sure.
Okay, so Mo, that means that Commissioner Glazier, despite his artful dodging of being the chair of one of the subcommittees, has been now targeted to be the chair of the lease review subcommittee. And the other 2 members are myself and Commissioner Bowen, and the alternate is Commissioner Maya.
Thank you, Chair R. Curry.
We only have 26 more subcommittees to go. Okay, I'm kidding. We only have 1 more. Noise. So that's one of those topics that is energizing and important. And to the people who feel strongly and for the people who are being affected by noise, it's really important. It's the members of the public want to know that people on that committee are actively engaged and working with the staff and helping the staff think about these things. So currently, oh, well, look at that. We have, I didn't even realize, we have, that committee is full. We have Paul Bowen as chair. Paul, are you willing to continue as chair?
Absolutely.
And Commissioner Houghton and Goodman, are you willing to remain on that committee?
Yes.
And Commissioner Reed, are you willing to remain an alternate?
Yes.
I was going to say silence means yes. Okay, well then there's nothing to do there. So it's as it is documented is how it stands for this year, Mo. All set?
Yes, thank you, Chair R. Curry.
Okay, sorry for drawing that out for as long as it was. Thank you everybody for serving. Hopefully this year we will have more subcommittee activity. And hopefully we'll have less COVID and more activity. With
Chair
that,
Curry? Chair
yes.
Curry, this is Tava Ostringer. Could we
Oh,
just
see, I knew I would do something wrong. I just knew it.
No, you didn't do anything wrong. Could we just please formalize those appointments with a motion? It can be as simple as moving the subcommittee members as identified.
Yeah, okay. So I'd like to ask if somebody would like to make a motion to accept the subcommittee assignments as we just discussed for the 6 subcommittees.
I move to do so.
And do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Alrighty, Mo, if you do a roll call on that. Mo, can you do a roll call vote for us?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Commissioner Goodman,
Yes.
Commissioner Reed,
Yes.
Commissioner Glazier. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Yes, okay. Commissioner Houghton?
Yes.
Yes. Commissioner Maya?
Yes.
Commissioner Bowen?
Yes.
And Chair Curry?
Double yes.
Okay, we have a unanimous vote. The motion carries.
Alrighty. So now we'll move on to item number 6, the director's report. But before we do that, and before I introduce and welcome our newly appointed interim airport director, Brian D. Moore, I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge and sincerely thank our former airport director, Mr. Henry Thompson, for his 3 years of excellent service to the citizens of the city of Santa Barbara and Goleta in running SBA. His amazingly calm and respectful demeanor and his excellent leadership, especially during the trying times we live in. Running anything in COVID, frankly, sucks, is difficult. Running an airport, when you have the TSA, the FAA, the airlines, and all of the issues around that, just incredibly difficult. Henry, you will be missed. And I'm sad we didn't have the opportunity in a public meeting when he was present to say this, but you'll be missed and admired from afar. Fresno was lucky. That means that when us GA pilots come and land there, we expect a decent treatment. But you're admired from afar. I want to thank you for setting a high bar for our next leader to reach. With that, I'd like to introduce Brian D. Moore, our newly appointed interim airport director. When I first met Brian briefly, I couldn't help but think, oh my, he looks impossibly young. What on earth has he gotten himself into? But his youthful appearance belies the fact that, which by the way, running an airport will probably change that youthful appearance, but belies the fact that Brian is in his 15th year of service to the city of Santa Barbara. And I'm sure his engineering mind is hard at work, probably fuming and smoking, digesting loads of new information. Brian, you have a wonderful, amazing, hardworking, knowledgeable staff that I encourage you to lean on as you come up to speed. Brian, on behalf of the Airport Commission, the staff of Santa Barbara Airport, the citizens of Santa Barbara and Goleta and the surrounding area, welcome aboard. And with that, we would love to hear your first director's report.
Okay. Thank you, Chair Arcuri, and thank you to all of the commissioners for volunteering your time to participate, not only on the Airport Commission, but on one of its many subcommittees. Your service to the community is definitely appreciated. And I have had an opportunity to meet with some of you already, and I think for the others who I haven't met with, we've already got something on the calendar. So I look forward to meeting with you, even though I have had that chance. I would like to introduce myself through this forum because there are some members of the public who may be listening in or who may watch the recording at a later date. So I just wanted to share a little bit about myself before getting into the items that we have under the director's report today. So as of January 10th, that That was only, 7 days ago. I've been the city's, or 9 days ago, I've been the interim airport director. Prior to that assignment, I was the city engineer for approximately 5 years in the Public Works Department. And included in that time as city engineer, I did have a 6-month stint as the acting Public Works Director. So I have led a city department previously, and also on an interim type basis. As Chair Arcuri mentioned, I've been with the city for almost 15 years, and all of that time until last week has been in Public Works. I live in the West Side in Santa Barbara. I've been a resident there since my wife and I moved out here 15 years ago. I live there with, as I mentioned, my wife, and I have a 12-year-old son and a 10-year-old daughter. So just a little bit for you to get to know me in that way. As mentioned, my educational background is in engineering. It's in civil engineering, and my entire professional career, which included a variety of both public and private sector positions, has revolved around public projects. So although I lack an aviation background, I am well-versed and very comfortable with navigating both policies and procedures and looking for solutions that are responsive to a variety of stakeholders. And that's the piece that I really hope to hone in on, that hopefully you as commissioners will notice in my approach, is that stakeholder responsiveness. In Public Works, it was quite common to have a diverse group of stakeholders whenever we were doing a project, and listening to the different needs and trying to come up with solutions that are responsive to all is really harder than the engineering aspect of things. So I look forward to working with you all in the coming months. And yeah, with that, I'm just gonna get into the director's report aspect of things. And just a quick COVID update, I wanted to share with you all that we weren't sure we were gonna have this meeting at all. As I mentioned, I started on Monday last week, and we were very short-handed over the holidays, and then on the return from the holidays, some key people in a lot of different areas, not just in admin, but in all of our operational areas have been out. But I really wanted to make sure that we held the meeting and didn't fall back onto the cancellation kind of default. I looked at last year's calendar and there were a lot of cancellations. So I'm hoping we can be more consistent with meeting, and I'm thankful for the staff and really scrambling to pull this agenda together, despite that it is fairly light today. I do see there is one hand raised, so before I get into more detail on that.
So Brian, typically what we do is you provide your report and any deferrals to your department heads if they have any reports. And then we will solicit questions from the commission, and then I will solicit members of the public. So if the hand raised is from a member of the public, Mr. or Ms. Public, keep that raised and we'll get to you at the end of the director's report.
Yes, in this case, it's Mr. Richards from City of Goleta.
Well, I think, go ahead, Councilmember Richards.
Thank you. I didn't mean to interrupt. I just wanted to welcome the new interim director and just say that I'm very pleased to hear your comments, and I just want to say welcome. And in particular, you did reference stakeholders, and I guess part of my purpose here is just reminding people that Goleta, the city of Goleta, is a stakeholder. So thank you very much for those comments.
Thank you, Councilmember Richards.
and I really
Okay, I will carry on then with the director's report. So I mentioned where we were at with COVID, and that continues to be a challenge, but we're making do. It's an interesting time to walk into this position. Some better news on the staffing front. I wanted to share with you all that we were successful in hiring our new airport development manager, and she is on the call with us this evening, Sarah Iza. She's got a long work history with the city of Santa Barbara, including a lot of time here at the airport as a planner. She brings great management skills and a strong planning background, and will lead a team that's charged with deploying a lot of capital projects on the ground here at the airport. So please join me in welcoming Sarah Iza to the team. And Sarah, I don't know if you had a word or two you wanted to share, but if you're ready to do that, that would be great.
Thank you, Brian. Good evening, commissioners. I am so glad to be here. I'm coming from City of Santa Barbara Public Works, where I also worked with Brian Damore for the last 5 years or so. I also worked here at the airport from 2001 to 2005, implementing the last master plan, not the current one. So I'm looking forward to implementing the projects outlined in the plan and working with each of you. Thank you so much.
Okay.
So Sarah, given that you worked with Brian for 5 years, if we want to get the lowdown on Brian, you're the gal to talk to, right? All right.
I'm right around the corner. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, he quickly figured that out. All right, last thing before I'm going to hand it over to the other managers to share is just a quick word on passenger count. We did see some numbers this morning for calendar year 2021, and really interesting because we kind of saw the tale of two different halves of the year. The first half was pretty much terrible, and the second half was absolutely incredible. So you average that out, and we had, I think, what was our second highest year ever. So it's good, but I don't know really where that leaves us as far as 2022, because we're starting off this year well below where we were in 2020. So lots of volatility continues, and it's pretty much impossible to try to project where we're going to land in 2022. We are ahead of where we were in January of 2021, but that's not saying much. So with that, I'm going to turn things over to some of the managers here, starting with, I believe it's going to be with Aaron Keller, the operations manager.
All right. Thank you, Brian. I appreciate that. I look forward to a successful 2022. Let's just consider this to be a slow start. First off, let me welcome Commissioner Glazier, Commissioner Maya to the commission. I look forward to working with both of you as well as the existing commissioners a little bit more proactively than perhaps we saw in 2021. I will say that some of the immediate feedback that I received in our most recent public engagement session was that they really, and this is in relation to the minimum standards update that's currently ongoing, was that they appreciated the two-way conversation. So I would welcome you to share with me any feedback that you have, and would certainly like to extend my offer to engage with you because I certainly felt that the public welcomed that. That being said, as of January 3rd, our public engagement comment period ended. I'm currently working with our consultant to go through that process, analyze all of our public comments that were received, and then provide adequate feedback so that way people will understand how the comment was received, why it was included, why it may not have been included, and really just want to extend an open invitation for all to engage with me. Obviously copying Brian on any of our communications, but just to let you know that we are committed to serving the needs of all. And if there are any comments, certainly be happy to take those at the end of our director's report. So thank you.
Thank you, Aaron. And I forgot to throw in my joke that I had planned that I thought it would be a good idea in my second week on the job to hold an airport commission meeting and tackle minimum standards and noise. Just jump right in. But I decided it could wait. There's a lot to digest here in this role. So, and we meet monthly. So we'll wait. We had enough to deal with learning Zoom and getting the new committee members on board and the subcommittee assignments. So I think it was good to keep the agenda light. So next up would be under, I guess I went slightly out of order, pulling Aaron up, but would be under business and development. Deanna Zackerson, if you could give a quick update.
All righty. Good evening, Commission Chair Curry. Glad to see you again in your role this year. And welcome to our new commissioners. It's going to be an interesting and exciting year that I'm very much looking forward to. And just looking to give you a little bit of sort of the most important highlights from what's going on in the areas that I'm responsible for, and that's marketing, air service development, and property management. Most exciting on the marketing side, if you're in the terminal, we have a new photo exhibit in the terminal as you head out to the observation area. And it has been provided to us by a new local record company, Santa Barbara Records, some beautiful landscape art photo that looks really fantastic in the space. We have our first ever plane pull, believe it or not. I can't believe we haven't had a plane pull before at this airport. It's a fundraising event in partnership with Alpha Resource Center and Alaska Airlines, who is bringing an Embraer 175 here on the 26th of February, a Saturday. And teams will compete in trying to pull this aircraft 20 feet by rope in the fastest time possible to raise some money for a very good cause. So on air service development, just want to let you know that both staffing challenges due to the Omicron virus and the concerns about the coming future with staffing has caused a number of the carriers to take a second look at their scheduling for the spring and actually push out some decisions for the summer. That is particularly the case with United Airlines. You may notice they have cut back on some frequencies. And they're putting out decisions about the summer, in particular, the Chicago service by another 6 weeks. Some impact to American with their frequencies to Phoenix. Otherwise, looking pretty stable. Southwest has been stable. Alaska has been pretty stable. So there's just a lot of variables at play. We intended to visit United Airlines in December in Chicago. Turned out to be a virtual meeting. They decided not to bring their staff back because of Omicron, but we did make our pitch for Chicago in the summer, and we're still cautiously optimistic that that may happen for us. On the property management side, really this is the time of year that we begin to focus on meeting with our airline carriers and negotiating our rates and charges for the commercial air service for the fiscal year that starts July 1st. So we will be having a series of meetings with them and discussing their new airline agreement. Otherwise, as everyone has said, we did have a great holiday season. Now January, February, this is the slow time, and it's a time when we can look forward to getting a few things done. in advance of the summer, spring and the summer. So thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Deanna. Last but not least is our facilities manager. Andrew, I believe you had a quick couple of things you wanted to share. So if you could do that, that would be great.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and Airport Commission, and thank you, Director D'Amour. I do have a few brief things to share from our facilities division. Firstly, a happy new year to the commissioners, and welcome to our 2 new commissioners who join a really great group of people. We have in the next month the 10-year annual maintenance on our 3 oldest boarding bridges. Gates 1, 2, and 4 were original to the terminal. Gate 3 was installed later. Those first 3 are now 10 years old. We'll be doing a 10-year service, which means we'll be taking them out of operation for about 1 week at a time. We won't be doing that to all of them at the same time, but once, so over the course of 3 weeks, we'll take one out of service and put it back in, take the other one out. That will present some disruptions and headaches for the airlines. And so I just want to make sure that the commission, as well as the public, as well as the airlines, of course, are aware that that is coming. I also want to praise both our colleagues in the County Flood Control District, as well as my own staff here in the Facilities Division for the work that they did over the winter rains that we had in mid to late December. On December 22nd, 23rd, we had a substantial amount of rain that came in a fairly short period of time. We had 3 3¾ inches of rain in 24 hours. And for most places, that would just be a good washing out. But for Santa Barbara Airport, where we are the bottom of a 48 square mile watershed that drains pretty quickly, we do run the risk of flooding with stormwaters that come that quickly. We did an awful lot of prep work in anticipation of that, clearing ditches, opening channels, going through all of our parking lot drain inlets. And of course, our flood control district also works on our sediment basins. Those are the 2 areas just south of Hollister Avenue where the creeks go under Hollister Avenue. Emptying those out of the sediment that is gathered there over the years so that we would have extra capacity for that sort of surge. And while we got very close to flooding in a few places, and we did end up having to temporarily close 2 taxiways due to standing water, we were able to keep the airport open and we didn't suffer any substantial damage. And so I want to thank our friends at the Flood Control District, as well as praise our own staff for the work they did successfully getting us through that period. And that's all for me. Thank you.
And that's it for the director's report. Hopefully we did okay and kept it short.
Okay, Brian and staff, thank you very much. We'll start with the commission with any questions, and just like to clarify, Deanna, since I'm talking anyway, did I understand you to say that in these days of worrying about liability for everything and sipping a hot coffee cup and suing somebody, that our partners at Alaska Airlines volunteered a Embraer 175 to be pulled 20 feet? Did I hear that correctly?
Yes, Commissioner Curry, you did hear that correctly. Not only I would say the issues that you mentioned, but just the fact that that does mean they're pulling an aircraft out of service for a period of time on that Saturday, for quite a period of time. So that does represent a financial backing of both the airport and this event, we're really excited about it. And kudos to our marketing coordinator, Angie Dowse, for greasing the wheel, so to speak, on getting all those pieces put together.
I suspected her hand in that. That's terrific. That's fantastic. And I guess the other comment is, wow, 10 years. It just doesn't seem like it's been 10 years that we put the boarding bridges in. Anyway, so Mo, just because I don't have the list handy in front of me. Oh, actually I do. So I'll do it this time, Mo. So Commissioner Goodman, do you have any questions on the director's report?
I do not.
Commissioner Reed?
I do not.
Commissioner Glazier? Commissioner Glazier?
I do not.
Okay. Commissioner Houghton? Commissioner Houghton?
I do not.
Okay. I wonder how many times in the world of COVID people say, you're on mute, you're on mute. Commissioner Maya?
No.
Commissioner Bowen, I believe you do. I think you have your hand raised.
Yes, I do. I just wanted to speak out on behalf of the Alpha Resource Center. It's a fine charity that does a lot of amazing things in this town. I'm very proud that Santa Barbara Airport's hosting a community event. Thank you, Alaska Airlines. Thank you, Signature, and all the staff that have worked on it. I will be either organizing a team to pull this airplane or I'll be volunteering at the event. I'm waiting to see where I can be the most useful. So then one other quick question. Aaron, I'm aware of a draft of the minimum standards done by Carl Hopkins as a private citizen. I'm not sure, did that get submitted in during the public comment period?
So while his submission was late, it has been included as part of the public comment, yes.
Very good, thank you. That's all I had.
You're welcome.
And I don't have anything additional. So at this point, we'll open it up for public comment. I want to remind the public that the item on the agenda that we're commenting on here is the director's report. So Mo, do we have any members of the public that have a comment on the director's report?
There are no raised hands. If you are listening to this and you wish to make a comment, would you please use the raised hand icon on your screen? I do have one raised hand, Jennifer Berger. Jennifer, would you unmute yourself and begin speaking?
Take it away.
Hi, I just wanted to say I'm really excited about the plane pool, and I think it will be a great event, and anything that I can do, or boutique, or anything that we can do to get a group of people out there pulling and parts of the community, I'm just impressed. That's super exciting. So looking forward to that.
Thank you, Jennifer. Mo, do we have any other public comment?
We do not.
Alrighty. With that, then we'll move on to the consent calendar. And just reminding everybody, and for the information of our new commission members, just for the sake of, I guess, expediency and efficiency of business, items on the consent calendar are considered routine. It doesn't mean that questions can't be asked. It doesn't mean that there might be things that are unclear, but generally speaking, they are items of business that the airport staff routinely deals with. They're discharged with the responsibility for tying up the loose ends and putting them together on the consent calendar. So typically what I do, just to get through this quickly, is I'll read all three items on tonight's consent calendar, and then I'll ask if there are any questions on the Airport Commission members on any of those items. And then we'll see if there's any public comment. And if there's none, then I'll beg and plead for a motion to approve the entire consent calendar rather than going through it one item at a time. So on the consent calendar, we have three items. 7, the ever-present minutes. That is at the recommendation that the Airport Commission waive the reading and approve the minutes of the commission meeting that was held Wednesday, November 17th, 2021. The second item is a lease agreement with Ace Rivington, Inc. The recommendation that the Airport Commission approve and authorize the airport director to execute a 5-year lease agreement with Ace Rivington, Inc., a California corporation, for approximately 1,390 square feet of 90 Dean Arnold Place, Unit A, at Santa Barbara Airport for a denim apparel business with a lease commencement date to be determined upon completion of needed maintenance and repairs to the space. The total annual rent for the first year of the agreement will be $22,776.60. And the last item on the consent calendar is another lease agreement with Derek's Roofing Incorporated. Recommendation that the Airport Commission approve and authorize the airport director to execute a 5-year lease with Derek's Roofing, Inc., a California corporation, for 3,280 square feet of building 223 and 3,700 square feet of the adjacent yard space at 94 Frederick Lopez Road, Suite C at Santa Barbara Airport, with lease commencement on March 1st, 2022, and rent commencement on April 1st, April Fool's Day, 2022. Total annual rent for the first year of the agreement will be $55,185.24, not including utility cost, insurance, or county possessory interest taxes. That's a mouthful. Do I have any commission members that have questions on the consent calendar? Well, was anybody furiously waving their hands? Or calmly waving their hands?
I don't see anybody.
Is anybody awake? Okay, well, with that then, members of the public, if you have any comments on items on the consent calendar, now would be a wonderful time to raise your hand. Mo will take a look around and see if there are any.
Chair Curry, there are no raised hands from the public.
Alrighty, well, then I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent calendar, the 3 items on the consent calendar as I read them.
I move to approve the consent calendar as is.
Thank you, Commissioner Bowen. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Vice Chair Houghton. And Mo, if you do a roll call, please.
Commissioner Goodman?
Yay.
Commissioner Reed?
Yay.
Commissioner Glazier?
We abstained since I wasn't on the commission for the minutes for the prior meeting.
Vice Chair Houghton?
Yes.
Commissioner Maya?
Yes.
Commissioner Bowen?
Yes.
Chair R. Curry?
And I'll give this one a triple yes, since there's 3 items.
Okay, the motion passed, carried.
Well, Interim Director Brian Dumore, I'm pleased to say you have made it through unscathed your first Airport Commission meeting in your new position. Welcome aboard, and we hope to see everybody on the February 16th Airport Commission meeting, which will be held at 6 p.m. Same bat time, same bat channel. And with that, I will adjourn this meeting.